Good evening, everybody joining in. I hope everyone's having a nice little evening, of course. We're back. The Underachievers are back with some Div 3 content, Wink, and we're taking over once again. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing very good. Very excited for this one. Obviously, the season could not have got off to a better start for the Underachievers. That absolute demolition of the Raw Doggers in the opening game. And then a little bit, they say lucky, a cheeky little forfeit victory in their second game. So this is the second time they'll be entering the server this season, going after win number 3, and they are going to be up against am110, a team who's had a bit of a difficult start to the season, we should say.
Yeah, looking over 2-2 at the moment. I mean, they're towards the bottom end of the table in Group B. Obviously, I suppose we should fill in the people, shouldn't we, about what's been going on. There's some nasty people in that group, aren't they, Wing? They've been doing some naughty stuff, haven't they?
We're not going to talk about this, so
I
think we'll just move over this one. But yeah, because that's not what we're here for. We're here for this game. am110, as we said, they've lost both of their games they've had in the server so far this season. 13-4 demolition at the hands of Crescent Rose, not a great way to start your season. And then a little bit of an improvement, but a 13-7 loss to Royals Academy, who I would say are probably the favourites for the group. So maybe signs of getting a season back on track. But if you're am110, you need to get your season started at some point. But against the Underachievers, off the back of that 13-1 victory, it's going to be a very tough game for them.
Yeah, you can say their backs are against the walls in this one. You know, they're facing, well, potential top 3, top 2 team right now. So if they're gonna, step up at any point, it will be now. I mean, that game, the Raw Doggers game, that was, you blink and you miss it. It was that quick, and it was just pure destruction. And I was gonna just say, I mean, should we even look out for the Underachievers? Again, should look out for everybody. They're all menaces. I mean, their team play, the cohesion, it's just unstoppable. So you kind of got to feel for am110. I mean,
yeah, I mean, Underachievers, it's such a very strong performance across the board in that previous one. The scoreline very much proven that fact. I mean, if there was a couple of players in particular, Lieutenant Danielson leading his troops from the front, and then of course Farmer Palmer mowing them all down on that A site of Ancient. But can he do it on a slightly more difficult map to warp on, I would say, because it's going to be on Inferno today. Ooh,
hello.
A little bit of a change up. I don't think we've seen this roster play on Inferno personally, so it's a bit weird, a bit of an unknown for us. But we'll try and go just through it as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean, Inferno, you wouldn't really say is the most. I mean, it's not the most spectacle of a map. You're not gonna get a lot of entertaining stuff, but it's going to be a grueling one. It's going to be down to the util, who can pretty much outplay the other one in terms of the mind games. We'll see what the Lieutenant has to offer, but with the confidence, I mean, they've been pugging. I mean, before this era pug and train, which, we saw was so close yet so far, but I think they're going to be coming in with this, with some confidence. You're one of the favorites in the group. Just go and show it, no?
Yeah, I think whatever nerves that may have been at the start of the season, that opening game will have just completely demolished them. But this is where you need to cement that you are one of the best teams in the group. And against a team that's slightly down on their luck, I mean, now's as good a time as any to properly get your season truly leading it away, because it's a bit of a tight group right now. Obviously, this early on, we've got Royals Academy and White Label kind of leading the way. But yeah, Underachievers definitely in that sort of bracket of teams that should be up there.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta pick up these wins. I mean, obviously we're saying that it should be a breeze. I mean, we thought the previous game was gonna be closer. Then obviously they went and 13-1'd it thanks to my curse. So I'm not bringing any sort of. We're not in the game, so I'm not bringing any sort of jinx, any sort of curse into this one. But it's kind of like you can put it in football terms. You think you're going to play, one of the lower league teams. Doesn't matter. You got to give it your all. You can't, take it easy, because a couple mistakes and the game's gone. We saw it with the Apes earlier today when we were streaming. They have this nice, comfy lead. One crucial round against Pistols, SMGs. Let that team right back in. So hopefully UA don't get, a bit too over themselves.
Yeah, and especially on Inferno, where the CT side can be so suffocating. Like, the saves are such an integral part of this map because retakes are so difficult. And you have to save to keep your economy in check so you can keep the weapons out. Because, honestly, once a T side gets rolling on Inferno, it's very difficult to stop them. Because if they get one round, you'll get two. They'll get 2, 3, maybe even 4 rounds off the back of it just because you have to save the weapons so much. It's a really suffocating map, and I think Underachievers will need to get off to a strong start, no matter what side they start on here.
And I mean, obviously, we don't really know a lot about, am110, but who do you think we should be looking out for? Who are the players we should be kind of keeping a track on throughout the match? We got it wrong earlier today completely with the Apes game, so why not make ourselves look like fools times in a row then?
Yeah, let's go off history once again. Brad has been the top fragger for am110 in both of their previous games so far this season. He's probably going to be the one to do it again. Maybe see a little bit out of players like, well, I was going to say Jadan, but he's actually not playing today. It's going to be Nate B coming into the roster for this one. So maybe that's a thing that I just dawned on me. Maybe that's another good opportunity for Underachievers, knowing that they're coming into this game with a substitute, albeit one that's played with them before. Maybe that's an area that the Underachievers feel they can exploit.
Yeah, I mean, whenever a sub comes in, it's not always fun for the team that has to have a sub in, but as like the favorite team coming in, you're playing against a lesser team, and you're playing against a lesser team with the sub. Don't let it get to your head too much. You play that game as if it was just a regular roster itself, because if you start, over peaking, you get the ego a bit much, a bit far off the scales, then as I said before, you could just lose the game off 1 or 2 rounds. So I don't think that would be as much as a problem there. I think we saw it on the Ancient game. UA, throughout the entire game, they kept their heads on check, no overcommitting. They played their game, they played the strats, they followed the lieutenant's orders as you would. And I think today will be one of those games again.
Yeah, and you mentioned the over-peaking and losing your head. I don't think that's going to happen with Underachievers. They've got players with so much experience within the UK scene. You mentioned Danielson earlier, and then Palmer, 29-year-old talent, absolute farmed on the Ancient. Can he do it again today? But we're going to get right into it now with the knife round. This is quite a crucial one, I think, because I think Inferno is one of the few remaining maps in the pool where a CT side is probably the preference.
Honestly, I'd agree. I'm not gonna lie though. Every time Inferno comes into the pool, I mean, when we play together, instaban, we do not want to be playing this map. It's just not fun whatsoever. In Prem, even in Face It, but we have it here today, and as you said, I mean, side probably the most preferred pick. Just get the ball rolling and then try and finish it off on that T side with that confidence on the CT side. And I mean, UA did pick it up, so what they're thinking, maybe we're thinking a bit too far ahead, but yeah, I mean, I'm very much looking forward to this. I want to see if they can back it up from that first game on Ancient, or was it just, the fluke?
Yeah, well, we're about to find out. UA actually taking a gamble and starting on the T side here.
Ooh.
Not what we really expected, but I think it's going to be quite an interesting one. As we mentioned earlier, the T side can get rolling if they can break the CT economy. Maybe UA going to try and suffocate am110 in this game.
Well, we hope so. Let's get off to a nice flying start, shall we?
Yeah, a little bit of util spread across the Underachievers. I think Zaro buying into a... Is that Jubber? Oh no, it's a P2, it might be a P250. Anyway, straight up mid here, coming at UA. Brad can be put to the test straight away on long, choosing to tail and hide in the safety of the arch. Who's trying to spam through the smoke, but not really getting much. Just a little bit of damage. Yahoo from the pit. Finding a little bit of solitude, but Danielson picking off Brad. That's the library player dealt with, but Hooson, Yahoo kills in return. Numbers momentarily fading inside of am110, but and actually continuing to out the back of that frag from Yahoo. But then Palmer, the experienced player, does get 2 to get them back into it. But Jacken now all alone, taps the bomb, waits for an extension. HG coming in, but Jacken taking the headshot off of Nate B. Swinging wide on towards the default spot. And a lovely little headshot onto AVB. And Jacken carrying Underachievers over the line. They take the pistol.
Yeah, I mean, am110. you gotta give it up to Yahoo. 2 kills from the pit, but just a bit too, maybe I guess over aggressive, swinging out a bit too wide. He stays alive for just a little bit longer. It's a 3-on-2, and with that pressure from pit, it makes it so much harder to get that bomb down and just even have an attempt at that round. But Jack in, what else do we expect from that man? 2 lovely 1-taps, and that's a much needed piss round. Rolling.
Yeah, indeed. It's how you love to start a game, but I always say the second round is arguably more important, because if you lose it, then you are in money hell for the next few rounds. So you may have got the first one, but there's still more to come, and that's not the great way to start at Yahoo. The Swag 7 taking down Noxy. AVB second one going for an aggressive peek. Zaro is ready for it. Now into the 4v4.
Ooh.
Yahoo's sticking around inside the apartments with this shotgun. And it looks like UA want no part of it. Danielson backing his way back down second mid. Maybe trying to regroup at the bottom of the banana. Zaro, the flash knocks him off the angle, but the SMG does jiggle out and loses his life for it. Nate B goes down at the hands of Zaro. Brad, though, on the deagle. Easy kill. He's not looking at him. Repeats again, but manages to fade away. Flash deployed to try and delay. But smoke cutting off his vision. He has to just wait for those reinforcements to come in now. Danielson's molly will just delay him a little bit longer and allow UA to maybe fortify themselves inside the site. And Danielson actually going hunting here from the top car. But he turns at the wrong moment. The shotgun had a perfect opportunity, but Yahoo goes down. 3 versus 2 now, make it 3 versus 1. Lovely shot out of Jack, and Brad is tucking tail and running away. He wants to save this Deagle into the next. Maybe try and get the Galil on exit. But there's no way this round is winnable for am110. And that will be 2 for the Underachievers, overcoming what could have been a little bit sketchy thanks to those shotguns. But getting it over the line in the end. Yeah.
Poor Yahoo. He goes for the little jump, the little jump peak, just, a little pre-bait. But if only he knew. He had pretty much a free kill right there. But as you said, that second round, arguably the more important run than the pistol round. They just, quite comfortably managed to pick that off. So we should be seeing 3 here. Only that MP9 from Brad himself. And the rest of am110, they're going to be buying up some grenades along that MP9. So rock it down banana, no?
Oh, Zaro, if you go up there, you could be in for a nasty surprise. 1,
in a bit,
2. That is a rifle given over, but they are following on the back of it. Palmer does get 1, but still goes down to the hands of the USP. Danielson is trying to buy time. Bomb needs to be recovered before they can make their way into the currently undefeated A site. And we do see a rotation now coming in from am110.
They're taking too long, though. No, actually, no. They've caught the time in. Okay.
Yeah, UA have just about caught the timing. That little slow up from am110 has given an avenue into the site. Brad, with the MP9 in hand, actually switching for the USP to try and take the long-range fights. Maybe try and bait them in so he can mow them down with the SMG at close range, but Underachievers too disciplined for it. Noxy does pick up Nate B to equalize the numbers and the superior weapons advantage. Underachievers are in control right now, but it could all turn. It's balanced on a knife edge. But with Yahoo going down, it's only the Moto players remaining, and now Brad forced into probably another unwinnable 1 versus 3, where he should maybe just carry this MP9 over into the next, and Noxy won't even let him do that. 3 in a row for the Underachievers here.
And nice little Noxy 4K to get that round across the line. Nice little 3 rounds to get the ball rolling for UA, but this is where things get serious. am110. I've run out of different ways to say their name. They're coming in now with the guns. Brad's going to be able to pick up that orb. Everybody else is going to be able to reinvest, get the M4s out, the util. This is going to be the true test for UA on this T side. The Lieutenant's done a nice job so far to get these 3 rounds going, but let's see what he's got planned for us on this crucial gun round.
Yeah, I want to pressure brackets very early, but Brad's all bringing out to give hands Jack and his first death of the game. And the smoke being deployed, the Underachievers don't really want to try and fight through that, which is a wise decision. They have that crossfire between long and short, so Noxy's going to read over into the apartments alongside Palmer.
Yeah, they're not scared of that orb. They're still contesting around apartments, so they've got the confidence coming into this game. Question is, can they outmaneuver around Brad? They're actually doing a little swap now. He's going to be posting up long.
Picking up long, but the C's are making their way up short. Palmer just skulking through. Goose is right there, ready for him, but he's having to watch two angles at once. Smoke being deployed cuts off Noxie's field vision, but the apartments is just sort of a subsidiary of this short crawl that is actually frozen. Like, Underachievers just waiting for an overextension here. An extension that isn't really coming. Flash is trying to delay them, but they're already ahead of it. Brad will pick up Palmer from long. And now who's onto the sights, just trying to stay alive as long as possible, but Danielson, Noxie getting the kills, and Zaro on the flank picking up the rotate.
How is it just crumbled all apart for am110? What? They had the perfect hold. All three players having... There was a decent crossfire with the player on pit. You have the open play as well. But UA are just able to hit their shots. That's unbelievable. And they shouldn't even be looking at this. 3v2 on the A-bomb site?
No, they need to grab that AWP and get out of there, is my opinion on this one. No kit on their people. AVB not had a great start, 0-3. He'd like to build up some confidence, but just needs to try and play his life and play the smart game here. So, Underachievers, despite am110 bringing out the AWP, I don't want to say it proved a non-factor, but it wasn't decisive enough for them to get the round. Underachievers still yet to lose a round 4 in here.
That's crazy that short crawl just works. They just kill complete noise. Even with the app smoke, they don't get to, you know, too overconfident. They wait it out. They play for any sort of contact, and you would think that's a am110 round all day, every week. They have all the players in the right positions. They got the crossfires on lock. You just got to hit the shots, and they just couldn't do that.
Yeah, but like you said, a very good play out of the Underachievers. am110 will be purchasing into this one once again. Brad with the AWP, but the missed shot gives Noxie the perfect opportunity to take him down. Who's flashed off the angle, which has allowed the crawl up long. Is he going to try and follow them? No, he's going to tuck into mid. Completely clear. They know about the rat, but Yahoo has so much to do right now. Scared of apartments, scared of graveyard, scared of them walking up on him front of pit. Does get the first onto Jack and doubles up onto the kill onto Danielson. Bomb does go down, but the man advantage currently in favor of am110. Zaro will equalize it now though. Going hunting out of the boiler room, will take down Who's, and now Nate B and AVB once again in a 2 versus 3. More doable than the last one with the kit in play, but it's still not a fun task retaking this A site here.
We've got 2 mollies as well, but the bombs just take so much. How have UA scammed this round? I'm sure some key night people saw that. Danielson didn't even buy a gun. There was no, he forgot to buy, I don't know. I was looking at the bottom of the leaderboard and he's just sat on 6300 with a Glock and no armor. And somehow, some way, UA again somehow find a little crack into that A bomb site and they just abuse it. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, UA very much feeling that A site is a bit of a weakness, although AVB did manage to get a couple of kills on the exit to keep the money for the Underachievers somewhat in check. Wasn't quite able to recover the AWP, so Brad will have to go without that into this next one.
Yeah, you got to feel for Brad as well at the start of the round. He tries to go for something aggressive. I guess that's the AWPer he is. He's trying to go for these picks early on to give his team some sort of advantage. Always risky going into, you know, the little balcony room. Gets him all lead off and just dies without any sort of, you know.
Oh, and Underachievers have the perfect read here. AVB, the sole defender of the B side, does get the first onto Zaro, and that smoke has actually forced them to freeze. Yeah, and they rotated off immediately. Only got his first kills in the previous, but that big one in this round has sent the Underachievers scrambling.
Yeah, that was such a crucial kill. If they even decide to keep going through that smoke, they would have had that B bomb site for free. I mean, very bad could have just gotten 1 or 2, and even then it's just so hard retaking that B site. So he's done a lovely job there with that smoke as well, and he's actually got support now, and the CTs are just cycling through their smokes. And I don't want to be that guy, but this has to be an am110 round. They got so much util in play. They got the positions, and the clock has ticked down quite a considerable amount, and it looks like they're going to be sending a player over to that A side for some faking, and Parma is actually going to get that pick.
Yeah, that kill onto Brad. Trying to sell the fake, but it's not really working. Nate B does get one onto Noxy. The B push kind of stagnated. Parma trying to find another one onto short and does get the kill onto Hoos, and the bomb is actually rotated back towards this A bomb site. Parma's searching for another, but Yahoo inside the apartments. He's been playing pit so many rounds. This reposition could be absolutely crucial. Bomb is going down in the safe corner. Yahoo going to try and swing out and deny it. Can't quite. Does get the information of 2 on site and picking off the lurk of Jacken. Yahoo is just being alive, being a little pest. He is really put Underachievers on the back foot right now, but the HP still currently favouring the T's. Parma fires to Danielson with a simultaneous one. AVB now forced into the clutch, but Parma, the experience proving too much. 6-0 to the Underachievers. That was AM110's round. Like Yahoo getting that kill in the apartments and lingering on. I thought they had the round in the palm of their hand. Those kills from Parma and Lieutenant Danielson in the 3 versus 2. Wow.
I've just done the reverse jinx. I apologize, AM110. Why did I go into in-depth detail on why that round was theirs? It should have been theirs. Like you said, Yahoo was an apps. He did such a good job getting the lurk. It's just Parma once again. The fact he gets 2 on that lurk, he was meant to be the lurk. They weren't even meant to finish A, but the fact he does such a good job, why not bring the bomb over? Look at how much tagged up they are now. Okay, Yahoo somehow gets that kill. Back early in this round.
Yeah, Jacken does get the kill onto Brad in the meantime, but he does not expect Hoos in that position. So,
okay.
Momentary man advantage before Zara gets picked on towards the B bomb site, trying to push through the smoke. AVB going very aggressive here. How's he got that moving headshot? Zara taken down. Danielson trying to refrag, just push his way onto the B bomb site. Does have the support by Parma. And they will find the kill onto AVB, who's in rotation, smokes off at CT. Yahoo making his way up Banana as well. This split CT side, and we actually see is this going to be a massive rotation at Hoos, or is this?
I mean, look at the HP wing. It should be a save. You got 2 AKs. It hurts. You're going to be 7-0 down. You want to be attempting these rounds, but it's like we said before the game. It's so hard to get into these bomb sites once you lose them that. I know your heart's telling you got to go for this, but you got to think with your brain here. Taking these AKs over into the next round, you still got quite a considerable half left. You can win 3 or 4 rounds, maybe even a 5th, and you're right back in it once you switch over. But all things considered, the fact it is 7-0 right now, it's a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, it also just goes to the sheer talent that some of the Underachievers players have, like being able to claw victory from the jaws of defeat. I mean, we mentioned Parma multiple times.
Yeah,
3 very much leading the way right now. Despite some of the great plays that Yahoo has been putting up for AM110, it's just not been enough for them to get a conversion yet. But
you can't even deny, they've been getting the picks. Like, they just can't work with it.
Yeah. But the partial investment in the previous has allowed Brad to bring up the AWP into this one. And AVB double AWPing, getting a kill onto Parma. That's the heavy hitter taken out of the round straight away.
Surely we're looking at a 7-1 win, surely.
I mean, Underachievers were pretty unhappy that they managed to lose that 1 round in the game against Royal Doggers, so hoping to make it a 13-0 today. And this is a heavy A stack coming out here from AM110.
Yeah, I mean, they're properly leaning into this A site, but...
It's a double AWP on the A site.
Yeah, I'm not sure what would have led them to believe that. They're leaving Nate B, the substitute, all in on this B site. They're not even aggressing for any sort of info. They're just... I guess they were expecting some sort of hit in the mid-round. I think now we're finally seeing a rotate coming in to potentially help out Nate B.
Yeah,
who's going to play for March?
He is rotating, but it's been very slow. Underachievers did have a nice little window, but not capitalizing upon it. Although we of course have the luxury of radar and X-ray, so Underachievers don't have that at their disposal. Otherwise, the game would be very unfair.
Very true.
Danielson deploying util towards the B bomb site, trying to feign and execute as the
plays
rest
over.
This little fake of the executors completely
Oh
sold
my
am110. Hook, line, and sinker. Yahoo, you've got 3 players closing on your position. Able to get the first onto Noxie before Jackin with the trade, but that has allowed the bomber pass onto this A site. AVB trying to have a pop shot with the AWP, but swinging out wide, Jackin will capitalize.
This is Division 3 heritage. Oh, this is beautiful from UA. Lovely fake and 3-on-3 on this A bomb site. They got the kit on Brad. And that smoke is just killing so much time. Flash coming in from Hoos.
Watched by Zaro though. Nate B will take him down, and Hoos gets to pick onto Danielson as well. It's all got to be on Jack in this round for the underachievers, and he's not quite gonna get it. Nate B will get the kill, and there's just about time for this defuse. It's close, but there is time, and the 13-0 dream is dead. But underachievers still 7-1 up.
What a round. I mean, I can't believe that even worked. The fake was so perfectly sold. It was sold so perfectly. My English is absolutely amazing, but they needed that round. And I was just saying that was going to be a hard retake, but they actually made it look really easy. And Jackin had the power play in pit to make it work, but couldn't make that spray work. And that was a much needed round for am110. So, I mean, can they work with it? They've got the double orb still, so they've got some good weaponry to work with it.
Yeah, AVB trying to go for a pick with the AWP, but not hitting its mark on this occasion. And Palmer, in the meantime. UA taking full apartments control here. am110 looking a bit scared as it stands. Choosing to turtle up, give brackets pretty much over to the underachievers.
There's 2 hits coming in. You got 3 towards A and 2 taking B. am110 are just kind of getting picked off one by one.
Yeah, Palmer trying to push into the site right now. We'll get the pick onto who's the long player, but Nate B is just lurking behind the default box and pick him up. Maybe you're baiting a little bit too hard there, my friend. Jackin will take you down very quickly. And AVB, yeah, no question about it, forced into the save with this AWP.
Yeah, I mean, this is just light work from UA. They're having 2 simultaneous bomb site takes on either side of the map. They're playing with confidence, and I think, like you said, Nate B, I think a bit of a bait right there. I mean, you got your ult posted down from long. Try and support him a little bit, I'd say, but yeah, entries are on point. As you said, Parma, he's just having another wonderful game, just like an Ancient, so they just look unstoppable.
Yeah, it's taking a lot from am110 to get into this game, and it's just not being enough right now. AVB gonna have a lot on his plate to try and save this AWP. They're jumping up on top of the orange box. Will get taken down, and I think the save will be allowed on this occasion. But it doesn't really matter if you keep saving because the lead is almost becoming unassailable at this point, 8-1.
And yeah, that one round was very much a miracle retake coming in. Everybody hitting their shots, Utah on point, but we've seen nothing of that in these mid rounds. UA have just been dominating these mid rounds. Even that round they did lose. UA should have lost it, but the fact they made it as close as it was, I think that's telling of just like the difference between both teams.
Yeah, they do just seem like the better team right now. I'd love to provide some more in-depth analysis, but unfortunately sometimes it does boil down to that. Yeah, Noxie and Jackin just getting the opening straight away. Yeah, Yahoo gets one back, but underachievers have just been gifted the A site.
And the smoke down library, Orb has no vision into that bomb site. Yahoo now spotted towards short, and the B player hasn't even rotated yet, so save again. And another smoke, Yahoo, have another one.
Yeah, I think am110. They should be saving, but when you're 8-1 down, you feel like you've got to force something. Yahoo maybe trying to play for the ninja here, but the bomb is so far away from him. I don't think it's going to be possible. As soon as he realizes that, he needs to scurry. Because now you cannot reach the bomb. Yep, it's just dawned on him that it's not where he thought he was, and he needs to get out of there if he wants to keep this rifle.
And Sour knows he's here. He's hunting. Yaku just barely lives.
Just about. That. It's another save, but it's not around, and that's what am110 desperately needs.
Yeah, they've just been exploiting mid. They've just been exploiting every single part of the map. I mean, like you said, analytically, what is there much to be said apart from the fact that UA they're just better. I mean, it's not nice saying that because obviously coming into this we want to see a nice close game, but I feel like this is very much a repeat of the first game. But am110, in all honesty, they have thrown away a couple rounds, but
I wouldn't even say thrown away. I'd just say not capitalized upon. They've had opportunities, but they've not really had gifts. In this sort of division, you can't be giving away gifts, and underachievers know that and have tried to get as much out of their system as they can. Which is why 1.5 dominant performances so far this season. Yeah.
Oh, look at the nades, man. Nate very bad to say 2 nades, and now they eat Molly, and they're gonna get caught out trying to cross over. Don't think the Molly should spread to him, so Nate.
Yeah, they might overlook this. Zara did clear it, but Nate just quicker on the draw. Danielson does have to trade though, and Brad, the early rotation, could play ahead of this. No smoke to play with, still gets the kill onto Jacken before being traded out by Palmer. Leading the way right now. Who's going for a heroic play through the smoke? Into 2 with the MP9. Runs dry and has to switch to the USP and just chooses to tuck away. Wait for the support of his teammate. Palmer forced into the clutch right now.
And Yaku's made the long journey into Banana. Does Palmer have the vision here? Does he have the read?
Yeah, but time's kind of against him. He's got 20 seconds to play with. But that smoke is going to fade with about 10 to go. Tap on the bomb, waiting for an extension. Nothing happening just yet, though. Needs to stick it on this occasion. Sees the flash coming through the smoke. Swings wide, does get the first. 7 seconds left. Has to stick it in this occasion or swing and die. Palmer can't get the gun out in time. And Yahoo will one of his heroic plays finally comes off and gets am110 a second round. It's going to be too little too late, though. I don't know how Palmer almost made that work.
Honestly, the second I saw Hoos run through that smoke with the MP9, I'm like, well, this is just a Hail Mary. This is not going to, come to anything. But the fact he gets 2 and then nearly gets the 3rd, I mean, he makes it look like he's about to get the 3rd. But yeah, I mean, Palmer, I think he played that 1v2 quite well, but just down to time. You got to just go for the risk. You either plan or you don't. And, he bites the bullet. And yeah, am110, they needed that second round, but look at that scoreline. It's just such a big feat to climb back and try and get back into this game that if UA, they win this round and then the pistol, I mean, let's just pack our bags and go. I mean, that's the game done.
Yeah, I mean, am110 do need to get rounds on the board quite desperately at this point, and yeah, the heroic play out of Hoos did pay off on that occasion, but honestly, even despite that, it was still a very well-disciplined retake, knowing that the time was on their side, knowing that Palmer had to just either stick it or fake it, and they called his bluffs absolutely perfectly. But as we said, it's just too little too late.
Well, not done a lot of things perfectly, but they're doing better than the Raw Doggers. They got 2 rounds to their name, and that's another pick from Brad with that orb, so they've been getting these opening picks, but of course, as I said before, UA find a way to come back from these rounds. And to be honest, when you got Jack and peeking like that, lovely flash as well from Parma. Just the cohesion is so on point. They know when to swing, they know when to flash each other in. And then Noxie's just setting bullets like that. It's just brilliant to watch.
Yeah, Yahoo does get one back though to make this kind of doable, but Jacken with that kill, that's the ace going over. No saving possible in this one. It's do or die right now for am110 if they want to prevent UA getting onto double digits, but it's going to have to be Nate B. No kit, MP9, single Molotov to work with. And Palmer will just not even let him get into the site. Nice little headshot. Yeah. But there was definitely mistakes in there for am110. Like, Hoos on the boost, by deploying that nade, you basically completely give up your position. Jacken knows exactly where you are. Palmer with the perfect setup flash. That was the easiest kill that they'd ever get because they knew exactly where he was. They knew exactly what he was doing. They knew exactly how he was going to be playing it. So just with a single little bit of information, you were able to crack open that A-bomb site.
Man, they've done it time and time again. And now they got to do the opposite. They got to defend these bomb sites with their lives. And with this big scoreline, as I said before, if they get this pistol, it should be game done. And look at them. They're running down mid with these dualies. And Jacken's only able to get one decent damage onto very bad. But am110, they're very scurried off into the site.
Yeah, already inside the site. Danielson in rotation very quickly, trying to spot from library. Does eventually get the kill onto Hoos, but very much picked off by AVB. Palmer and Noxy now in this 2 versus 3. The double dualies. It's definitely got the firepower to make it work. But with no kit on their people, they have to do it quick. Palmer does go down with nothing, but Noxy, 1 gun for each player. Can he make it work?
As well.
The head spots both of them. He knows exactly where they are. Does get the first onto next B and the second onto Yahoo, and it's just about time for the defuse, I believe. Noxy stealing away that pistol round. Was more than enough time for the defuse. Easily. So Noxy, just by holding W, spamming the dually, somehow makes it work. am110 just giving up the game a little bit too early there. Yeah, because as soon as Noxy knows where they both are, he knows exactly what he has to do. And against the dualies, it's just so many bullets coming at you. It's so difficult to defend against.
I mean, you decide to group up there, knowing you're up against dualies. I mean, that's a spam gun. You never know if a bullet's going to hit you or not, and you decide to group up. And I thought it was going to be the bait and switch. You know, someone plays the fake, and then, you know, the other one would just hides, and obviously he's not going to be checking there. But they both make themselves known. And again, another round that you probably should have gone am110 one way. Doesn't. And now we're seeing the consequences. UA running down mid with 3 players. This round is over.
Yeah, pretty much over already, and this is a forced investment coming out for am110. Rad and Yahoo, all that remains, up against 5. Now Yahoo, I mean, he's got the Galil. Well, that's all you can really say about it. Getting caught on in the smoke, they surely know exactly where you are at this point. That tag gives it all away. Does have an avenue into the B site, but he doesn't know that. Being swung out, and Zaro will take him down. Match point for the underachievers.
Yeah, and very well deserved. They put in a lovely shift. In all honesty, should the scoreline be like this? Probably not, but they've done such a good job at clawing back in these rounds where they probably shouldn't have won them. And like I said earlier today, can they show that level of performance that they did against the Raw Doggers? They've absolutely done that. With this scoreline, I mean, look at the buy you're coming up against. I mean, to be fair, it's honestly one of the more scarier buys. Mac 10s and Tech 9s, I mean, that's probably my worst nightmare.
Yeah, Tech 9s in particular can absolutely shred head armor if you're not careful. Noxy and Danielson trying their best to defend the site. Yeah, Danielson only needed to get one there. And look at the HP is already almost completely run dry on Yahoo and AVB. Palmer and Noxy to defend this B aggression. The smoke, or the flash, sorry, does get Palmer, but it doesn't matter because he's getting another 2. Nate B, 1 versus 4. Goodbye and good night. Underachievers take this one 13-2. Another dominant display out of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think once again, even for Inferno standards, pretty quick one. Did we expect it to be that, you know, one-sided? Once again, no. We came into this thinking it probably would have been maybe a 13-5, 13-6, but UA are just showing such great individual levels of performances game after game that you can see why they're in the running for top 3, even top 2.
Yeah, I mean, I've penciled them as one of the favorites for this group for a while. Also, apologies to the viewers at home. My camera is extremely bright because I forgot to turn a light on because I'm very professional.
I mean, it was light.
Honestly, that was very professional performance out of the underachievers. There was not a moment they did not look in control of that game, and that's individually they were a level above. Tactically, they were a level above. Another absolute dominant victory. This season is shaping up very well for them right now.
Absolutely, and of course, we're here for the UA, for the underachievers, but obviously I think when you got to talk about am110 a little bit, I feel like these are the losses you learn from the most. If they do actually go back and delve into that demo, I think they'll see a lot of missed opportunities. I can count 3 or 4 rounds where they actually get that opening pick, but you can see time and time again, UA always find a way to crack that bomb side open. You could see with the fakes, even on the round they lost, where Parma was faking towards Parma was faking towards A. He was meant to be the fake. That should have been a round for am110. But he gets 2 picks, and then he can just call his boys over, and then that's it. So there's time and time again, people like Brad, he was doing a good job with the ult, but I think just as a collective, that team effort just wasn't there.
Yeah, it was a little bit subpar for am110, but also there were things that they did well and things that the underachievers will look at and realize, oh yeah, we had a dominant game, but there's still things we can work on. They gave up a lot of opening kills to the underachievers, and against a team of slightly higher caliber, that may prove a little bit costly going forward.
Absolutely, but they've done the job. They got the dub, which is at the end of the day what you want. And 13-2, I mean, who wouldn't like it like that? I mean, if we're keeping up a pattern here, 13-1, 13-2, I'm assuming the next game will be 13-3 then.
Very, very, very much a possibility, and I don't think the underachievers would complain about that, not in the slightest.
Would you who would you have to give MVP to then? I mean, everybody did their jobs. Jackin, Parma, the lieutenant, everybody. But if you had a name,
I mean, based purely off stats, I think you can't really look much further than Parma. I mean, even some of his massive individual plays, very decisive parts of this game. Massive shout out to Noxy. I thought he had some really good individual plays, some very good team opportunities, info gathering. And then Danielson's calling of say, as usual, was brilliant. But I would say it's very difficult to choose a deciding factor because they all played well. I'd maybe edge it towards Parma though.
Absolutely. Parma the Farmer. Remember the name. I mean, let's see if he can keep up these performances. And, well, sadly, they also didn't get the 13-0. Obviously, we got told that if they did get the 13-0, they would have had some jerseys for free. But sadly, I guess that deal is gone. So
that's up to do it in the next game. Just do it in the next game, boys.
Just do it the next game. But yeah, what a lovely game by UA. Absolute pleasure. But yeah, I think that is all we have time for. I mean, we got to bounce, don't we, Wing? I mean, there's another game we got to cast, so we're busy. But a lot of fun today. Thank you once again, UA, for having us. Absolute pleasure. And, well, we'll see you guys next time.